10 timeless watches you need. Some watches aren't about hype or trends. They're the kind of pieces that still look right 20 years from now on any wrist in any setting. Whether it's a field watch built for grit, a diver designed for forever, or a dress piece that's pure geometry, these watches have stood the test of time. They're the backbone of real collections. Here are 10 timeless watches you need, starting with an everyday piece. Number 10. Rolex Datejust. If you had to pick one watch to live with for the next decade, the Rolex Datejust is the safe bet that never feels boring. And most people stop looking once they buy a Datejust. It's Rolex's everyday icon, timeless but never timid. Smooth or fluted bezel, oyster or jubilee bracelet, dials from crisp silver to radiant blue. You can make it yours without breaking the formula. On wrist, it just works. T-shirt, suit, whatever. The Cyclops over the date announces Rolex before you even say a word. The Datejust comes in two sweet spots. The 41 clocks in at 41mm across and about 12mm thick, with a lug-to-lug span of roughly 47.5mm. The 36 feels a little more classic at 36mm wide, 11.7 to 12mm thick, and around 43mm lug-to-lug. Both wear flatter than the specs suggest, which is why they end up fitting so many wrists so well. Water resistance is a solid 100 meters thanks to the screw-down crown. Inside, Rolex uses the caliber 3235, a movement built tough with Paraflex shock protection, and the Parachrom hairspring for magnetic resistance. It's got all the modern conveniences too: stop seconds, instant date change, and smooth bi-directional winding. Leave it off on Friday and with its 70-hour reserve, it'll still be running when you pick it up Monday. Over the dial is a sapphire crystal, complete with the trademark Cyclops magnifier that makes a Datejust instantly recognizable. Pricing varies by model and setup, but expect retail in the $7,000 to $8,500 range, with the market sometimes running hotter depending on the dial and bracelet combo. As always, prices are subject to change with the market, so values may vary depending on when you're viewing this video. If you want one watch that can keep up with your life and outsmart the magnets around you, this next everyday piece is it. Number 9. Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra. The Aqua Terra is Omega's wear-it-everywhere Seamaster, with a teak pattern dial inspired by yacht decks and a case that walks the line between sporty and dressy. Pick 38mm for trim elegance, or 41mm if you like a little more stance. But the magic isn't just the look, it's the engine. Every Aqua Terra is a master chronometer Meta certified to shrug off 15,000 gauss of magneticism. That means laptops, phone cases, subway gates, things that slowly kill other watches barely register here. The Aqua Terra comes in two core sizes. The 41mm case sits around 13.2mm thick, with a lug span of about 47.5mm. While the 38mm version trims down slightly in both thickness and wrist spread, making it the sleeker option. Water resistance is 150 meters across the line, with a screw-down crown to back it up, so it's a watch you don't need to tiptoe around. The 41mm packs caliber 8900 with twin barrels and a jumping local hour for painless travel, while the 38mm runs the slimmer 8800 with a 55-hour reserve. Both are tested to shrug off fields of 15,000 gauss and deliver the kind of daily precision Omega's Meta's standard is known for. Power reserve runs about 60 hours in the 41 and 55 in the 38. Plenty to carry you through a weekend off the wrist. Up top, you'll find sapphire crystals front and back, scratch resistance on the dial side, and a clear view of the decorated movement underneath. Sticker price is around $7,000 for current steel models, but you'll actually find them about $1,000 less from authorized dealers. Now for a diver piece you can't go wrong with. Number 8. Rolex Submariner No Date. This is the Submariner in its purest form. Black dial, black ceramic bezel, and proportions that feel tool first, not flashy. For many collectors, this is the end game, a single watch that feels right in every setting. It's the reason people stop shopping once they strap on a sub. The Submariner holds to its familiar 41mm case, with thickness landing between about 12 and 12.6 millimeters and a lug-to-lug span of roughly 48 millimeters. Those numbers explain why it feels planted yet still slips under a cuff. Water resistance is rated to 300 meters, secured by a screw-down crown and caseback, and framed by Rolex's Cerachrom bezel insert. What stands out in daily use isn't the numbers on a spec sheet, it's the effortlessness. The bezel's 120 clicks land crisp every time, the chromalite lume glows steady and blue, and the oyster case shrugs off rain, pool days, and travel knocks without a thought. Inside, Rolex's Caliber 3230 delivers that quiet, set-it-and-forget-it accuracy that makes the sub such a true daily companion. Power reserve stretches to around 70 hours, so it'll keep running through a weekend off the wrist. Covering the dial is sapphire crystal for scratch protection, paired with an oyster bracelet that includes the glide lock system for quick tool-free micro-adjustments. And you'll generally find this watch around $9,500. Another timeless diver piece is number 7. Tudor Black Bay 58. Vintage looks, modern muscle. The Black Bay 58 takes Tudor's 1950s diver DNA, gilt accents, big crown, domed crystal, and trims it into a watch that feels purposeful, not costumey. At 39mm across, about 11.9mm thick, and roughly 47.75mm lug to lug, it's the rare diver that doesn't fight your cuff. Thin, flat, and comfortable. Want warmth? The black gilt is your move. Prefer nautical? The navy blue keeps the same proportions and cooler tones. Either way, you get a proper tool. 200 meters of water resistance, screw-down crown, and a steel bracelet that tapers just right. Inside, the in-house MT5402 does what a modern caliber should. Silicon hairspring, full balance bridge, free-sprung balance, COSC certified with 70 hours of reserve. Capping the dial is a domed sapphire crystal that delivers vintage charm without the fragility of acrylic. Depending on the reference, you'll find bracelet and strap variations, but on steel bracelet, the US retail price sits around $3,950. Leaving the divers behind, the next timeless watch brings a sweet mechanical accuracy. Number 6. Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38mm. Some field watches feel like fashion. This one feels like gear. The Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical is stripped down on purpose. Matte bead blasted case, bold numerals, syringe hands, NATO strap ready for mud, not meetings. It's a direct line to Hamilton's 1960s mil-spec pieces with none of the frills. Wind it in the morning and you're part of the ritual. Check it at night and the lume is still glowing. At 38mm, it's the Goldilocks size. Compact, flat, and discreet. The details are what keep it in collections. Thin profile, drilled lugs for easy strap swaps, and a hand-wound caliber that runs long between winds. The matte finish hides scratches, the domed sapphire shrugs off scuffs, and the dial packs in everything you need. Railroad minutes, 24-hour scale, symmetry intact. This Hamilton is the blueprint field watch that other watches just keep copying. The case measures 38mm across, just 9.5mm thick, and about 47mm lug to lug, numbers that make it wear flat and comfortable without losing its field watch presence. Water resistance is 50 meters, enough to shrug off daily splashes and the occasional rainstorm. Driving it is Hamilton's H50, a hand-wound caliber designed specifically for the khaki field. It keeps things traditional with manual winding, but stretches the power reserve to a generous 80 hours. So winding every couple of days is all it takes. Over the dial sits a sapphire crystal for durability, while the 20mm drilled lugs make swapping straps easy, which is a big part of the fun with this model. Now on price, you'd be looking at mid-$600 at retail, but you can get it cheaper with authorized dealers too. Moving on, number 5. Longines Spirit Zulu Time. A pilot GMT that actually earns its wings. Longines was already making dual-time watches for aviators in the 1920s, and this modern GMT keeps that same purpose-built spirit alive for today's collectors. The star of the Spirit Zulu Time is function. Pull the crown and the local hour hand snaps forward or back while home time stays locked in. No math, no fiddling, just the clean, intuitive feel every traveler wants. The bezel keeps it sharp, bi-directional ceramic with crisp clicks, so you can track a third zone on the fly. Oversized Arabic numerals filled with lume mean red eyes and late connections are no problem. The finishing sells the premium feel without trying too hard. Brushed case flanks, polished bezels, applied markers, and dials in matte black, sunray blue, or anthracite. And it comes in two sizes. A 39mm case that's 13.5mm thick with a 46.8mm lug span, or a 42mm version that scales to 14.1mm thick and 49.4 lug to lug. Both weigh compact for their dimensions, helped by smart case shaping. Water resistance is rated to 100 meters, and the screw-down crown makes it a safe bet for daily use. Beating inside is Longines L8444, an exclusive COSC-certified automatic with a silicon balance spring for anti-magnetism and stability paired with 72 hours of reserve. Sapphire is used front and back, with multiple layers of anti-reflective coating for clarity and a display back to show the movement. Pricing in the US generally lands in the $3,000 to $3,500 range, depending on size and configuration, keeping it competitive in the true GMT space. Up next is an ultimate Cartier classic. Number 4. Cartier Tank. Some designs get old, the Tank doesn't. Born in 1917 and a century later, it's still sharper than most modern releases. This is just proof that good geometry never dies. 2 vertical brand cards, a perfect rectangle, a blue cabochon crown, and suddenly you're dressed better than you thought you were. Go Tank Must and Steel and you've got a quartz clean dial daily that slips under any cuff. Step into gold with the Tank Louis Cartier and you're wearing history itself. Slimmer, hand-wound, and unapologetically dressy. Big names chase trends, but Cartier just kept making the blueprint. The Tank Must Enlarge measures 33.7mm long by 25.5 wide and sits just 6.6 to 7mm thick, beautifully flat and as shirt-friendly as a watch gets. Lug to lug isn't often quoted, but the proportions stay compact and balanced. Water resistance is 30 meters, enough for daily life as long as you're not swimming with it. Inside is a high autonomy quartz movement, built to keep running for years with little fuss. Sapphire crystal protects the dial, which ranges from traditional silver with Roman numerals to bold lacquered colors that give the watch a playful edge. Retail in the US usually lands between $3,450 and $4,000, with secondary prices varying by dial and demand. The Tank Louis Cartier Enlarge keeps the same 33.7 by 25.5mm footprint and about 6.6mm thickness, but swaps steel for an 18-karat gold case in yellow or rose. Water resistance stays at 30 meters. Powering it is Cartier's caliber 1917MC, a hand-wound movement hidden behind a closed back. There's no automatic rotor here though, it's old-school ritual. Wind, strap, go. A flat sapphire crystal completes the package, and pricing for the gold models runs much higher at about $13,500 retail. Next up we have number 3. Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Classic. While most watches tell time, this piece tells a story. The Reverso was born in 1931, built for polo players who needed a crystal that wouldn't shatter mid-chucker. And the answer was a case that flips, showing solid steel to the mallet, then snapping back to reveal a dial framed in Art Deco geometry. And nearly a century later, that trick still feels fresh. The lines are clean, the 3 gadroons catch the light just right. And on the classic monoface you get the essentials. Arabic numerals, a railroad minute track, and a small seconds register that makes it feel properly old world. It wears the way a dress watch should, long and slim, sliding under a cuff without fuss, on a leather strap that feels more natural at a black tie event than any bracelet ever could. It's not even about status, it's more like a conversational starter. Flip it once and curiosity leans in. The classic large small seconds case measures 45.6mm by 27.4mm, with a slim 8.5mm profile that helps it sit neatly under a cuff. Lug to lug isn't often specified, but the proportions stay long and elegant in the Reverso style. Water resistance is 30 meters, enough for daily wear as long as you keep it out of the pool. Inside is Jaeger-LeCoultre's Caliber A222, a hand-wound in-house movement beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It powers hours, minutes, and a small second sub-dial at 6, and it offers around 42 hours of reserve between winds. Up top, sapphire crystal protects the dial, while the closed steel flip side of the swiveling case gives you either a blank canvas for engraving or a shield for the crystal when things get rougher. On strap, the large module takes a classic 20mm width, and US retail for the stainless steel is about $10,600. Now for a chronograph piece. Number 2. Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch. The icon that earned its stripes the hard way, the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch still looks like the one astronauts wore. Lyre lugs, twisted guards, matte black dial. But today's version quietly upgrades almost everything. Collectors get a choice: the Hesalite front for Thule period-correct charm, or the sapphire sandwich with crystals front and back to show off the movement. And despite the reputation, it's not oversized. 42mm across, about 13mm thick, and about 47.5mm lug to lug, slim enough to wear without feeling like a saucer. This is why the Speedy keeps getting chosen by astronauts, photographers, collectors, and anyone who wants history strapped to their wrist. Water resistance is rated to 50 meters, perfectly adequate for daily wear. The bracelet's slimmer and more tapered, the bezel revives the dot over 90, and the dial brings back the vintage step that makes the light dance. The big leap is under the hood. The hand-wound caliber 3861 keeps the ritual alive, but now it's a master chronometer, resistant to 15,000 Gauss of everyday magneticism, and certified for precision even after abuse. Exactly what you want from a watch with spaceflight on its resume. It offers around 50 hours of reserve and brings modern accuracy to a movement architecture that still feels traditional. Up top, you can choose between two personalities: the Hesalite version with its warm distortion and a solid steel back, or the sapphire sandwich model with box-shaped sapphire over the dial and a display back to show the movement. At Sticker, you'll find it for about $7,300 for the Hesalite version, and $7,800 to $8,100 for the Sapphire or New White Dial edition. And what would be a timeless collection without a digital beta? Number 1. Casio G-Shock Square. The Square is G-Shock at its purest. No frills, no fuss, just a brick of reliability. It's the watch you throw on for literally everything: gym session, grocery run, beach trip, or red-eye flight. The display stays legible in any light, and it shrugs off hits that would total a dress watch without even blinking. And the magic? It's how small it wears. Short case length, gentle curve, lightweight strap. It disappears on the wrist until you actually need it. Once you live with a Square, every other watch just feels a little too precious. That's why collectors keep one around, no matter what else is in the box. The DW5600 wears smaller than its numbers suggest, with a case around 42.8mm wide, 13.4mm thick, and a top-to-bottom length of about 48.9mm. The GW-M5610U is even trimmer at 43.2mm across, 12.7mm thick, and about 46.7mm long. Both carry the same squared profile that hugs the wrist. Water resistance is 200 meters, standard for a true G-Shock. And you've got options. The DW5600 keeps it simple. A tough quartz module with alarm, stopwatch, countdown timer, and EL backlight powered by a CR 2016 cell. Battery life averages 5 years depending on the use. While the GW-M5610U steps up with solar charging and radio sync, automatically correcting time and sipping light for energy. Fully charged, it'll run about 10 months, even if tucked in a drawer. Mineral glass over the dial keeps the look tool-like, and the resin case and strap keep the weight almost non-existent. Street prices remain some of the best value in watches. The DW5600 often around $75 to $100, while the Solar Atomic 5610U usually falls in the $120 to $150 range. For an indestructible build, it doesn't get better than this. Alright, your turn. What's that one watch from this list that stays in your rotation no matter what? Drop it in the comments. Hit like if you found your next favorite and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive.